Listen, life ain't easy. Especially when you're walking your path alone, it can feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, like no one understands, and you're out there fighting battle after battle without a hand to hold. But let me tell you something right now. If you keep moving forward with your head held high, with integrity, and staying true to who you are, the reward at the end will be worth all the pain, all the tears, and every sleepless night. Trust me. See, walking alone is one of the toughest things you'll ever do, but it's also the thing that will make you strong beyond measure. It'll shape your character, build your resilience, and grow you ways nothing else can. Walking that solitary path molds you into a version of yourself that's unshakable. It teaches you to stand tall, even when you feel like the ground beneath you is shaking. To all of you out there facing your battles in isolation, the ones pushing against the current, while the world looks on, confused, doubtful, maybe even critical, you're stronger than you think. Keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. And remember this, the most difficult journeys often lead to the most beautiful destinations. Just like how the hardest climbs give the most breathtaking views, the struggles you're enduring now will lead to something extraordinary. You see, when you reach that mountaintop, when you finally hit your stride and show the world what you're made of, the right people will show up. Oh yes, you won't be walking alone forever. The people meant to be in your life, the ones who can truly see you, they'll appear. But you got to understand something, those unique qualities, that fire in you, it might not be understood right away. Some folks just can't see the world the way you do because they've never had to reach down as deep as you have. You've had to summon a level of courage, of strength that they can't even comprehend. So don't you dare give up. Don't you dare lower your standards to fit into some mold or make others comfortable. You weren't born to blend in with the crowd, you were born to stand out, to lead. Think of yourself like that wolf climbing the hill. The one already at the top might not be as hungry, but the one climbing, oh, that wolf is starving. Hungry for growth, for learning, for greatness, that's you. Keep striving for more, for better. Feed your mind, feed your spirit, and don't stop climbing until you reach the highest peak. And when you do, celebrate. Celebrate every victory, no matter how small it seems. Every step forward is worth it. Walking alone doesn't mean you're lost. No, it just means you're on your own path, and that's a good thing. It's far better to walk alone towards your dreams than to follow a crowd that's headed nowhere. Dare to be different. Your future is in your hands. You are the author of your own success story. Nobody else can write that for you. Let me be real with you, success is often a lonely road. Not everyone is cut out for it. The folks who follow the crowd, they're never going to fully realize their own potential. But the ones who step out on their own, the ones who say, I'm going to carve my own path, those are the ones who find out just how powerful they really are. Flying solo gives you wings of steel. Walking alone gives you direction that's crystal clear. Others, they're out here needing approval, needing someone to validate their every step. But you found a special kind of peace and solitude. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're doing it right. You don't need anyone to pat you on the back because you've already got what matters most: self-respect, self-belief. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't to say that people who have support are weak. No, this message right here is for the ones who've had to stand in the fire alone, for the ones who've been the outsiders, the ones who've never had someone cheering them on. Listen to me, you don't need anybody else to believe in you. You believing in yourself is enough. That's all you need. You are enough. The most rewarding part of all of this, when you live life on your own terms, when you stand up and say, this is me, when you speak your truth with no shame or fear, that's when real respect comes. People respect those who have the guts to be themselves, because that kind of courage is rare. Most folks are too afraid to step out of the mold, but when they see you standing tall in your truth, it gives them permission to do the same. I had to learn how to fight on my own, and because of that, I've become unbreakable. Every struggle I've been through, every challenge I've faced alone has built a strength inside me that no one can take away. It's taught me about life, about people, and about myself. And you know what? It's given me a greater capacity for compassion, for understanding, for love. My journey into the darkness has brought me to a place of strength that now allows me to see the world with clearer eyes. Yes, I've walked through the storm. I've faced battles that felt impossible. But now I'm proud. Proud that I stayed true to myself. Proud that I didn't give up when the going got tough. And now I walk with a confidence that can't be shaken. Because this journey has made me stronger, wiser, more resilient. It's molded me into someone who can handle whatever life throws my way. Victory isn't about the applause or the recognition. It's about knowing that you've done something great, something meaningful. I don't need a crowd cheering for me because I'm too focused on my goals, on my vision. Being a lone wolf ain't easy, but it's worth it. And you have to understand that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. That feeling of loneliness only creeps in when you're not at peace with yourself. When you start comparing your life to others, that's when you start to feel like something's missing. But instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on what you have. You've got so much to offer. Serve others, love deeply, and give your best in everything you do. When you live with authenticity, when you chase your passion, the loneliness disappears. You start to enjoy your own company, and that's when life really starts to open up. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. Sometimes you're going to have to take a stand for your vision. Even if you're standing by yourself, you have to pursue your goals with conviction, knowing that there will be times when you face the storm alone. But when that storm hits, when it feels like you can't take another step, you stand tall. You keep moving. Even when the pain feels unbearable, even when you feel like you can't go on, you push through. Being alone doesn't mean you're isolated. No, it means you've got something within you that's special, something that not everyone can see. And that's okay, because as long as you know what you're carrying inside, that's all that matters. All right, let's sit down for a moment. No, don't you dare reach for that phone. You're just like me. I've told myself the same thing time and time again. Actually, go ahead and put your phone in the other room. Close your laptop, disconnect from the Wi-Fi, silence every distraction, and just be still. Take a deep breath and really think, because we've been losing ourselves to the noise. Cal Newport, in his book Deep Work, gives it to us straight. He reminds us that we're living in a world that demands deep, meaningful work. Yet, while that demand grows louder, we're losing our ability to focus. Now, isn't that the truth? It's not just some random thought or a joke about how glued we are to our screens, chasing that next dopamine hit. No, it's deeper than that. It's a real problem. A real struggle. Let's be real. This obsession we have with our devices, our feeds, our notifications is the very thing pulling us away from purpose. It's like we're building our lives around these screens, but instead of serving us, they're threatening to swallow us whole. It's like standing in front of a wild lion, necessary for survival, yet dangerous if you lose control. It's a paradox, a tension we all feel. It's essential, yet in excess it can destroy us. Balance, that's what we need. Life is about finding that sweet spot, that middle ground between too much and not enough. Too much of a good thing and you're drowning. Not enough and you're parched. It's that dance, that careful, delicate balance that keeps us moving forward. And let me tell you something, when we fail to make time to sit, to be still, to really think, we end up stuck on autopilot, trapped in the same cycle day after day. Now, don't get me wrong, routines can be a blessing. You wake up, you go through the motions, and there's beauty in that rhythm. A good morning routine sets the tone for your entire day. It's like clockwork, no thinking required. Charles Duhigg talks about this in The Power of Habit. It's like driving a car. Once you've driven enough, pressing the gas pedal becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it anymore. But here's the thing, there comes a time when you've got to step out of that routine and ask the bigger questions. What's my purpose? What am I doing this for? Where am I really going? You've got to step outside of the automatic, out of the mundane, and look at the bigger picture. If we get too comfortable in our habits, we risk living life on the surface. We miss the depth, the richness of what we're capable of achieving. Let's be real for a second. This is not a knock on modern society. We're living in one of the most prosperous times in history, no doubt. I'm just saying that in the midst of all this prosperity, there are dangers. Subtle ones, but dangerous nonetheless. When we let our phones, our screens, our distractions run the show, we're outsourcing our thinking. And when you outsource your thinking, you're outsourcing your future. That's a price none of us can afford to pay. I'll never forget the first time I read Cal Newport's Deep Work. I was feeling under the weather, so instead of my usual run, I decided to take a walk. I popped in the audiobook and started listening. And let me tell you, his message hit me like a ton of bricks. I was listening to this profound wisdom about separating ourselves from distraction, but even while I was walking, I caught myself reaching for my phone. Out of habit. It was an instinct I didn't even realize I had. That was my wake-up call. We have been conditioned to avoid solitude like the plague. We run from it. But solitude is where the magic happens. It's in the silence where we meet ourselves. It's where we discover who we really are, where we hear the voice inside that's been drowned out by all the noise. Joseph Campbell once said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Let that sink in." That dark cave solitude is terrifying, but it's necessary. We avoid it because it forces us to confront ourselves, but it's exactly what we need. Solitude is the space where we get real with ourselves, where we stop hiding behind the constant stream of media, small talk, emails, and notifications. Sure, those things have their place, but they often keep us disconnected from what truly matters. So here's what I'm suggesting, pleading with you to do: carve out some time for yourself. Start small. 15 minutes. That's it. Take a walk. Go outside. Leave your phone at home, or at least put it on airplane mode. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You'll feel the urge to check your notifications, to distract yourself, but resist it. Let your mind wander. Reflect. Ask yourself the hard questions. Does the life you're living align with the dreams inside you? Are you walking in your purpose? Have you taken time to appreciate the blessings around you? Think about these things, really think. Just today I went on my walk, no phone, just me and my thoughts. My mind wandered to all kinds of places, some important, some trivial, but all of it mattered. I thought about my schedule for the week, the commitments I've made, the things I'm excited about. There was one thing in particular I realized I didn't really want to do. And I had to ask myself, do I not want to do this because it's out of alignment with my purpose? Or is it just uncomfortable? I came to the conclusion that it was the discomfort, so I decided to stick with it and see what happens. I also took a moment to appreciate where I am in life. I thought about how blessed I am to live in such a warm, beautiful place. And let me tell you, gratitude just flooded my heart. And then I remembered something I heard from a professional athlete who had gone through surgery. He said, "I will rise from these ashes and have the best year of my life." That stuck with me. It reminded me that true leadership isn't about personal victories, it's about the team, it's about the bigger picture. That was a lesson I'll carry with me. Now, I know what you're thinking. These thoughts, some of them seem random, some of them don't seem profound, but that's not the point. The point is that you're giving yourself the space to think, to reflect. And that's where the breakthroughs happen. Maybe not every day, but all it takes is one moment of clarity, one new idea, one spark of inspiration, and everything can change. The answers you're looking for, they're right there, just beyond the distractions. Answers about who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. Newport talks about how waiting, being bored is a rare thing these days. But we fill every quiet moment with something: music, TV, scrolling through our feeds. But if we don't take time to pause, to really pause, we lose touch with what truly matters. We can't afford that. We can't afford to let our thoughts become so shallow that we miss the beauty of our deeper selves. There's something inside of you, something untapped. It's raw, it's powerful, it's ambition, it's purpose, it's potential. But it needs to be nurtured. If we let distractions take over, that part of us withers away, and we might not even notice until it's too late. So hear me when I say this. This isn't just about taking a walk. This is about reclaiming yourself. This is about stepping back from the noise so that when you re-enter the world, you do so with clarity, with purpose. You won't be tossed around by life's challenges. Instead, you'll steer your own ship. All you need is more time with yourself. You deserve it.